You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Musketeers After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Musketeers After Show.
I would almost dare to say that this music is almost exciting as Game of Thrones. Anybody? No? Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV, your one and only spot for after-show entertainment. We are here for BBC America's The Musketeers. I'm really excited about that. So let's get into that, because I'm your host, Ryan Hooks. On the panel today, man, I don't know why I'm so lucky, but there are 3 good-looking women in here.
We are the Musketeers.
Meow. Yes, there you go. You can be my 3 Musketeers over here. To my left, Yael Tygiel.
Hello, everybody.
To my left, Liz Rishmawry.
What's up?
To my left, Capt Aquillano.
Hi, guys.
And dropping the 1s and the 2s, Phil Svitek on the booth.
Hello.
Hey. Rocking that USA jersey. Solid day.
Yeah.
God, it's all right. So, we just saw the very first episode of BBC America's The Musketeers, entitled Friends and Enemies. I want to know, first off, how familiar are you guys with the Musketeers' stories?
I never read
You
the
are
book.
very familiar.
Okay,
During
so
the
good.
thing, he was like, "Oh, this is happening." I mean, I've seen like the typical movies,
Yeah.
but
Okay,
I
great.
do
So,
not know.
Perfect. So since you're not familiar, I want to know right off the bat first impressions of the first episode, because for people that are familiar with the storylines, there is a lot of repetition in the storylines and everything Musketeers. So, Kate, go first.
I liked it. I liked the sets. I thought the production design was great. I liked all the guys. I thought they were cast really well, to my knowledge so far.
So far, so good.
But yeah, it wasn't very repetitious for me because I'm not that familiar. But I do love these type of shows.
Liz?
Yeah, like I'm trying to remember back. I've seen like the original, like the 3 Musketeers movie that came back like out like years and years ago, but I haven't seen it in a while. So like it seemed vaguely familiar, but at the same time, I was like, no, I got this is cool. This is new. I'm grooving to it. Like I've never read the books. I'd like to, but yeah, it was exciting. I liked it.
Yael?
I have started reading the book, and I'm very excited to finally have faces to go with it, because I feel like
Because your imagination sucks.
also my imagination sucks.
TV's ruined us.
But like the book, it's so, it's dense.
I know.
and
Should we read the books?
It's half French.
You know,
it's very
well,
confusing.
so the Alexander Dumas book, obviously, is what all of these are based off of. It is a very dense, thick, long book. It's very much like all his other thick, long books. Hey, you know what? He was a French writer, and he wrote a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of movie adaptations that have come out. There's an adaptation for stage as well that was changed, and they added a character of D'Artagnan's sister. But I think that there's a lot of similarities in the storyline so far.
Well, as someone who's familiar with the books, are you really liking where it's going so far?
Well, so far, and I was going to say this, that's why I was asking if you knew, so much of it has been done. Like, there's been nothing new. So I'm excited to get to the point where they've exhausted the storyline of the story in the book, and they get into new things.
And
where they're
see
creating,
where they take it.
Yeah, they're creating a new plot, because if they drag out the existing book plot line of, the letters and the war between France and Spain, and then potentially an affair with the Queen, that's going to be like...
Spoilers much?
I know.
Hey, spoiler
Whatever.
alert. Listen, I guarantee...
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
It's not a spoiler alert. It's a book, guys.
Yeah, based on the book.
I know, but I mean,
Don't
tell
ruin
that-
it for
tell that
us.
to all the Game of Thrones people.
Well, so it's
like,
but this isn't, as we're saying, this isn't
Yeah.
the first time we're telling this story.
Yeah.
I think Ryan is right that it's going to be really interesting once we've told the story that we all know and have seen over and over again. Because it's a show, they have endless amounts of seasons and stories that they can tell.
Thank you.
And I'm very excited. You just weren't getting to the point.
Okay, so here's what we know.
Ooh.
There's 10 episodes in season 1. So this BBC America show has already aired in England. So there are everything you want to know about the episodes available probably online if you look hard enough, or barely look at all. And they're currently
Probably.
in the process of filming season 2. Season 2 is being filmed in Prague, so I've been hopefully getting some guests on and be talking to people in production and see what we can do about that for the future. So we know
Where's
that
Prague again?
Prague is in the Czech Republic.
That's what it is. Okay.
I really want to go to Prague.
Yes, it's a beautiful city, which will, I think, play a lot into the scenic aspect of this, given that Prague is one of the oldest cities in Europe, is also one of the only cities that wasn't destroyed in the World War II. In the World War II, that is.
In the
In the World War II.
In the Great War, the second.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about the who's who of the what and who and the how and
Yeah.
the why. So you have your major characters, which you maybe caught on or didn't catch on. Athos, Porthos, and Aramis are our three musketeers.
Ah.
Yes, did you get that?
Yes.
I did
D'Artagnan is
not.
not a
I'm
musketeer at this point. He, in the book, in the other versions of the movie, he's going to become a musketeer, and there is also a confrontation with him and Athos. The other people that we've been introduced are King Louis, the Cardinal, Monsieur Treville, who's the captain of the Musketeers Guard. Captain Monsieur Treville. They call him Monsieur Treville in the book. Constance, and of course our personal favorite, Milady.
Milady.
And then we have a few randoms who we'll get to this week who have not been introduced. Are we all good? Are we on the same page? Everybody
Yes.
knows
I
who's
got
who's
it. I
what?
got him straight.
It's actually interesting with the costuming as well, because the costuming in these shows are very much they're dark colors, they're black, they're leather,
Yeah,
they're
it's not as what's the word I would say? Like in the movies from when did the movies come out? In the 90s? Late
well, there's
90s?
several. There's
There's a
a
bunch of
movie
movies.
version called The Musketeer
Yeah.
that came out with Justin Chambers. There was a new version
I remember
recently.
that.
Yeah, the guy from Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
Which was a different storyline, and there was another version that came out with the guy from Percy Jackson.
Logan Lerman.
Logan Lerman.
There was a recent one with Orlando.
Yeah, that's the same one.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Logan
Logan
Lerman played
Lerman.
D'Artagnan, and he played evil guy. Someone.
I feel like I'm used to the more romanticized way where they had like the royal blue and the
Yeah,
red.
the Musketeers
and-
wore blue. The Cardinals Guards wore red.
I remember them wearing both, but okay. I remember like red shirt and then the blue flag sashy thingy.
Oh,
that, like,
I know
went
what
Yes.
you're
over,
talking about.
You know,
I know
the smock.
exactly what you're talking
and then
about.
yeah, the smock and
That's a good way to put it.
I keep on thinking of the dang candy bar now. Anyway,
There are no three Musketeers in this storyline.
Yet.
Yet.
yeah.
And so I did like that they didn't really talk very much about the Musketeers in this, other than, the current Queen of France has a affection for them, if you will, and them doing their job and knows they're loyal, and she keeps pushing for them to do their job. And then we have the Cardinal, who's your personal favorite,
Yeah, he is.
Peter Capaldi,
Love it.
who also we know is not joining season 2 of this show.
Because he's busy playing the doctor on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Which doctor?
The doctor.
The only doctor that you need?
Like the doctor.
He's the doctor.
Yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
all-
sure if I come down with cancer or something, he'd probably be able to do
I
something.
thought that was
about
House.
it.
No, that's House.
No, that's House.
I'm like, I don't think I should admit to these two that I've never seen
Roundhouse.
Doctor Who.
Get out.
Me either.
Moving on.
Moving on. Peter Capaldi, every time we see him, we scream.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about the plot line here today.
Okay.
There's a lot. There's some layers in this. So first off, we start off our show with every storyline of Three Musketeers I've ever seen. It started off with D'Artagnan and his father.
It's a catalyst for
It's
him.
the catalyst for the show because
Yeah.
it sets up his revenge-seeking abilities, his anger. His father gets killed.
What?
I know. If you didn't see it,
I
he got.
missed
Shocking.
it.
I did like though that
Terrible.
I was sitting when we were watching this episode. I was like, "There's going to be a fight in the first 5 minutes."
They didn't waste any time.
No.
Okay, with that opening theme song, do you really think that they would have waited? I mean, that's just
No,
like getting you amped.
it does.
For
It gets you amped up.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah.
theme song. I do, and I like that. Well, I wonder with us seeing it as episode 1 if that theme song was developed later, because a lot of shows when they first premiere, they have something for the first couple episodes, then like episode 3 or 4, it's a totally different theme song and introduction, and they change it because they've developed something with the show at that point.
I think this theme song was developed in the beginning. They knew what they wanted, what we were going to see.
Yeah, it's a very stylized show, which I like. Yes, there it is.
Thank
good.
For some reason, it reminds me of like the Pirates of the Caribbean.
A little bit.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
like dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Like I feel like when I'm gonna
Yes.
start getting used to that, and then like I'll just accidentally slip into yeah. Anyway, but it's I'm excited that there is a lot of action going on, but I feel like they didn't try to like substitute action where there should have been more plot, or like I think they did a good balance of it.
Okay, well, before we talk about the plot, let's talk about the layout of the plot. One thing that I thought was interesting, the show seemed very choppy in an aspect of it cut between scenes that were really short. Very 30, 45 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. And they were just cutting between scenes of characters. and I don't know if I didn't like it in the aspect of it was developing characters, or how I felt weird about it. How did you guys feel about it?
I think that because it's the first episode, they have to establish who people are, and they give us a person's name, kind of a little context about what they're doing, and then they were like, great, you got that, we're going to move on to this, because we have to, after we've established all that, give you how they all are connected and flow together and what the plot is.
Exactly. I think they had to cover so much ground in the first episode, and like you said, probably a lot of people like you already know the story, so they didn't have to quite spend so much time on it. So the cutting was, I think, just to get through
so much of the content.
Exactly.
The necessities, basically.
And I do like shows, and I watch a lot of TV, obviously, and I'm sure you all do. I like shows with the costuming like this and stylized when they talk and they say the character's name. It's not hard for the director or the writers to say, hey, Aramis, blah, blah, blah. Hey, Athos. So we know who's talking and who's talking to who. Because it's really easy to get, I think, if you're not familiar with the storyline or the characters, to get confused on who's who, because they do look a lot alike. They all have the beards, which, who doesn't love a good beard?
I think what's really interesting is that Adele, her name wasn't said the first time we met her.
Yeah.
We were
like,
all wait,
who was that?
What was her name? So it's really interesting that her, I guess that was kind of a foreshadowing, like, you don't need to know her name.
You don't need to remember that one.
Adele, played by Emily Bichon. Yes. Kudos to her and the red hair. Who doesn't love a good redhead?
Thank you.
Yes. Anyway, all right. So the storyline again starts off with D'Artagnan and his father heading off. They are going to petition the king on behalf of their hometown, Gascony, because all the taxes, basically, they're all getting overly taxed. They have no money. They have no food. So they've been sent off. Obviously, no one has sent them on this mission. They're going on their own behalf, but they must have some standing. We know that, Monsieur D'Artagnan, the father, is an honorable man. We learn very quickly, and he's off to help his people, and that's what he wants to do. Although D'Artagnan, the young son, is a hothead, as he's always portrayed, I feel like there's always some good in him.
I know now what it reminds me of. It reminds me of The Mask of Zorro, when he was all like, "You killed my father," and he's all like rushing in, and he's trying to kill. Yeah, but that's what it reminds me of. I was wondering as I'm watching it, who does this kid remind me of? Like, he's so rash and just jumping into things and trying to avenge his father or whatever the case may be. And it's like a mixture of that and Inigo Montoya.
The Princess Bride. Well, good thing for us that Alexander Dumas wrote this book hundreds of years before all these other people. So really,
he beat them to it. I'm not saying that they ripped it off. I'm just saying that's what it reminds me of.
Specifically, I think with the actor that we have, I definitely see it.
Yeah.
He has a little
super
Zorro.
Spanish kind of looking.
Pasqualino.
He's got a little bit of a Zorro vibe.
As opposed to Aquillano. Pasqualino Aquillano.
It's pretty close.
She's actually Zorro.
Don't tell anyone.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you blew her cover. You ruined it. Anyway, so they're in the inn, and the inn gets robbed by some men in costume. I guess they're all in costume. In disguise, rather. They're saying that they are Athos of the King's Musketeers, and they're going to take everyone's money. I mean, that seems shady right off the bat. Who rolls in?
That?
Yeah.
And tells them their name.
Give me your money. I'm Athos the Musketeer.
Athos.
Bah.
I mean, I feel like even back in like 1630. What is it?
1630.
Yeah, 1630. I feel like even then somebody should be like, wait a minute.
Why are you dropping your name right now?
Like, I know, this isn't the future where we're better at catching people, but that just does not seem right.
It's not like anybody said, like, who are you?
Yeah, I know.
He's like, willingly offering this information.
You must know. Like,
but wait, there's more. Anyway, so the next thing we cut into, again, with all the scene cuts, we're going to jump around a lot, I think, with that. We meet Porthos, one of our musketeers. He's playing
names.
cards. Yes, well done, Alexander Dumas, well done. He's playing cards with Dijon. Go ahead, say it.
It's
Mustard. Dijon mustard.
I thought his name was...
It's Dujon.
Dujon.
I just want
I want
his
it to be
name.
Dijon.
I want his name
now
to be Dijon.
Dijon.
We're calling him Mustard. That's his name.
Yes,
Mustard.
played by Joe Redden. So he's accusing Porthos of cheating. And basically they decide to fight in a fair manner because Athos is there and he's going to oversee everything.
Yeah, I love that Athos is just like walking around the fight, just like reciting the rules of like chivalry and like you can't attack someone with a sword if you don't have a sword, and he's just like so calm and they're in the middle of this fight. It was a good scene.
Well,
It's a great scene.
That sets up too, I think, for the audience who don't know, the dissension basically between the Musketeers and the Cardinal's guards. The Cardinal has his own set of men, his own army that do his own bidding, which is separate from the King's Guard and the King's Musketeers and the soldiers and men that they have. but they don't like each other.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Obviously.
That makes complete sense.
We need a villain in Peter Capaldi.
Yay! Thanks, guys.
Oh my god, that was good harmony, guys.
That was. We're never doing that again.
No, we might.
Every
Don't-
time.
Don't you?
I think we might probably. Do
Okay.
Okay, fine.
So we meet the cardinal.
Yeah, so we meet. Yeah, we do. We meet the cardinal.
Yay. Oh, we're not doing
But
it.
we're not there yet.
Dang.
I got excited.
I know, because the musketeers have to go see Treville first. But they need Aramis.
And where is he?
It's the same place he always is. He's at Adele's house getting his freak on. What? So anyway, so after the fighting, after Aramis jumps out of the window because the cardinal shows up, we learn that Adele is the cardinal's #1 girl.
Mistress, rather. Like,
Yeah.
he's not married. Can he even get married?
He's the cardinal. No.
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 I'm not good at Catholic stuff, so I don't know
definitely
how it
can't.
works.
But Aramis leaves behind his pistol. So
Yes.
Yeah.
that's
I was actually waiting for her to throw it out the window and for it to go off.
Yeah.
Like that was what I thought was gonna happen. It's like, oh, it's gonna toss it and it's gonna boom.
So it's not exactly in the books.
This whole thing with Adele is not in the books.
Oh, okay.
oh.
So
Okay.
there are fabrications.
I would assume that in the books, the cardinal does not have a mistress.
Correct.
Because cardinal.
The books. There's only one book,
Right.
rather. So,
Yeah.
so the
There- no-
books. It's not like Sherlock
I
Holmes. There's not a
believe-
whole slew of them.
I believe there was a sequel.
Potentially.
I believe there was a sequel.
We'll look it
written.
up.
Look it up. It was like 400 years ago. No one's gonna blame me if you can't remember.
I'm turning it. So we meet Monsieur Treville, the captain. Monsieur Treville is the captain of the guards,
I like
and he
him.
yells at the musketeers for getting in fights and doing things that they shouldn't do because they represent the king and whatever. So basically, he tells them that he has a mission for them. They need to go to Chartreuse. There it is. To find out some of the men are missing and some stuff's been stolen. But we don't really get a lot of details about it at this point because they don't know.
You should just know it's the king's business.
We know Cornet is involved, who's one of the soldiers,
And he's missing.
and he's missing.
And therefore the things are missing that we can't know about.
But we will find out later, I think.
Maybe.
But you know what? Before we find out, there's something that everyone needs to find out about.
What is that?
What's that? Ooh,
That's Maria Menounos' new book,
Smooth.
that
Every
was nice,
Girl's
that
Guide
was
to
nice.
Diet and Fitness. I'm going to go over here with it now, Phil. Hey. Boom.
Hey.
There it is. Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness. Maria Menounos' new best-selling book has lots of great information for all you ladies and gentlemen out there. Look, Suzanne Summers, Kim Kardashian, Serena Williams, Khloe Kardashian. Look at it's right there on the back. Actually, I don't know if
Big
you've ever looked at
deal.
this. There's a ton of awesome recipes in here.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, there's a lot of great food and tips in there. And you know what else?
It's available now.
It's available now.
What?
You know what else? You know
It's
what
on
else?
the-
What else you need to find out about?
What?
iTunes?
iTunes.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You need to find out about iTunes, guys. Thank you for tuning into the The Musketeers.
I'm gonna do that a lot.
They changed the name on us. Musketeers After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. We put out tons and tons of free shows for you guys to check out, available on the iTunes.
That sounds really expensive.
It's not, Liz. Did you know that all of our content is absolutely free?
What?
No way.
I'm impressed.
Mind blown.
Mind blown. So you guys can check out one of our like 80 after shows, hundreds of hours of content for free every single day on the iTunes. But one thing we do like to ask our customers and our fans, it's free. You're not a customer. You're our fans.
They're clients.
Our client.
They're clients.
We service them.
Sassy.
Yeah, we do.
Meow. So go on and rate our show. Give us a 5 stars. Tell us what you think. You can also check us out on YouTube and leave us comments. I personally
We
love...
like to comment
I personally
back.
love getting Twitter messages and
love it.
Me too.
YouTube messages. So you can expect a lot of interaction from these lovely ladies and this fine gentleman.
Phil?
Yeah. That's the only fine gentleman in this room.
I agree.
I agree, 100%. Anyway, let's get back to the show.
Yeah.
So D'Artagnan gets a room at the inn where everything is extra.
Yeah.
Except the communal towel. The communal towel is free.
Yeah.
You can have the communal towel.
Yeah.
Fine.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I feel like
It's a very clean place.
It's so gross.
Say-
she stepped on a cockroach.
yeah. Ignore that.
I like if she asked him if he had lice, and he was like, no thanks.
I'll pass. No crabs, no lice. We're good.
Ew.
So, again, we're just cutting and cutting and cutting. So the king is now shooting pigeons, which is kind of funny and ironic, really, because in the current time frame, people go pigeon shooting, but they're actually made of clay, and the machine throws them out, and then you shoot them.
I keep on thinking of. Did you ever have the original like there was a Duck Hunt and Mario Brothers combo
Quack,
game
quack, quack, quack,
cartridge, and there was another part of it in Duck Hunt
Yeah, you
that
could
was
shoot-
with the clays.
yeah.
I never knew what that was. I thought it was like killing aliens when I was like 3.
Nope,
I had
they
no
were
idea.
clay pigeons. They're actually little round discs. They're
Discs.
made of clay, and you shoot them and they explode.
Hmm.
It's really good fun. But this is where they originated. They actually were shooting pigeons out in the backyard.
And as the king says,
Sad.
pigeons are raised like rabbits to be shot.
They're meant to be shot.
Sure.
They live to die.
Well, pigeons are dirty, filthy things. So
You're a dirty, filthy thing.
and you love me, so you should love the pigeons too.
Moving on.
Moving on. So, but the whole time he's out there, the cardinal shows up. Monsieur Treville is there, and the cardinal's basically pushing about these incidences that have been happening with the musketeers, and they need to look into it formally. Even though Treville says no.
He's like, no, there's no one missing. There's
Yeah.
no
There's no one not
wrongdoing.
accounted
Like, you
for.
don't have to look into this. Like, he's just pushing and pushing.
Because that's not suspicious.
At all.
Not at all. But as we're learning really quickly, the cardinal is really the one in control. He's the puppet
He
master.
has his own agenda.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, because he wants power. He wants France. He wants Spain. He wants the world.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want the world? I want the world.
Be cool.
I mean, play with it for a little bit and then give it back.
Then give it
I'm
back.
done with it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I think what's a really interesting conversation in that scene where the king is shooting pigeons is where he says to the captain,
Trivial.
Captain,
Monsieur Treville.
that he likes that he's the only person who is honest with him, and everybody
Yeah.
else compliments him and kisses his behind.
Derriere, because
Yeah.
it is French.
That was a good
Right.
part.
And that
Yes.
he's like, that I keep you around because it amuses me that you tell me the truth.
Yes.
And I think that's really important because I think that's going to build as we go on, especially after what we find out later about the cardinal. I think that's going to be a really interesting dynamic to look at this season.
Well, and I think it's going to be interesting as well to play in with the fact of the queen. Because she, again, was talking about her love and faith of the musketeers. And I think that she sees that honesty in Treville as well as a good thing that, the king doesn't get. And the king obviously is supposedly very young in the show, and they're playing him that way as well. Sort of naive, sort of needs help.
How old is he supposed to be?
I think he's like, I pictured him.
Late teens, early 20s.
Yeah, younger than actually the actor looks.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, the king, he's played by Ryan Gage.
Who is in The Hobbit?
Who is in The Hobbit, yes. So he is a little older looking than I think he's supposed to be written or the way you would see him.
Yeah.
But he's still playing it very well in terms of looking young and looking innocent, and then
Yeah, he's kind
But
of
he's
just
fabulous
clueless.
hair.
His
His hair's pretty awesome.
And the queen is super young.
oh yes.
Yeah.
And as we learned later on in the episode, the queen is actually Spanish, and her brother is the king of Spain.
Right.
See, I was confused with that part. I'm glad you cleared that up because I was kind of like, he mentioned later on, something about his brother-in-law. And I was like, or sister-in-law. And I was like, wait, I can't. Like, I was
Yes.
trying to figure out which one was which. I
Connection.
was like,
Yes.
is it your brother?
King Louis of France is married to the queen, who is the sister of,
Of the king of Spain.
Ah.
We'll get it
That's-
all. We'll
Oh,
sort
we'll
it out.
get it.
get
We'll
it.
square it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the end of the season.
We have 9
we
more
have
weeks. We'll get it all
time.
Yeah, I'm
good.
still trying to learn, like, the pronunciation of the names. So, like, let's stay one step at a time.
So Athos, Porthos, Aramis, and D'Artagnan are throwing you off.
Yes, move on.
Okay. Cardinal Armand.
Yeah.
Yes. But before we get Cardinal Armand, we get our good friend Mendoza, and we meet Milady.
Yeah, we did.
Milady.
Yes. So Milady shows up in the inn with Mendoza, and Mendoza's coming in the room demanding things and wants to defend people's honor and threatens D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan's just like a smart, like,
Smug.
He's very
Yeah.
quick,
Smart
very
butt.
cocky,
It
very
was so
smug.
funny, though.
it was,
Like,
yeah,
are you
when-
talking to me? Not unless your name is
Madame.
Madame. Like,
No, sir. Not at all. However, cut scene again. This is like really hard. There's all these cuts. It's like I can't
There's
even,
a lot.
Can't
There's
even like
definitely a lot.
get things rolling. We get Cardinal. He goes to see Adele. We find out that he hates the king, as we've kind of already learned. That he thinks the king is a petulant child, and nothing is beyond the Cardinal's control.
yes.
except the musketeers.
They are?
That's why
What?
he hates them.
He
Yes.
says that nothing is beyond his control, and that's what I think.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
all of that.
As
That-
he's, like, caressing her neck and undress for me. Yeah.
I think the greatest moment is when she undresses and she's completely covered.
Still covered.
Still covered.
Here's an
Layers
entire
upon
layer
layers.
of clothes.
It just reminds me of that episode of Family Guy where he's like, doth the magistrate know what you're up to? Start unbuckling your 100 laced buckled, to the girl who's she's taking off a glove. So,
One at a time.
Yep.
Nice.
So speaking of taking clothes off, Milady and D'Artagnan getting busy.
What?
So that's our second hookup.
That was so random too.
Well,
It happens.
I mean, yeah, it's
It's setting up Milady. She is a cougar, and she gets what she
is
wants.
Feisty.
And I was hoping to see this episode
Is she that much older?
old
mean,
enough.
yeah.
I was hoping to see Milady fight.
We'll
'Cause
get there.
she's gonna fight,
Yeah.
and she's gonna kick some butt.
She's already kicking butt without having to fight.
Behind
Yeah.
the scenes, yeah, she
She's
kicks
like
some butt.
She's like a not so modern day French ninja, Is that
No.
said?
Not so
No?
modern.
Come on, kind of.
Nope.
But
Sweeping
I
in,
love that
vanishing.
She's super manipulative and sly
Very.
and knows how to use what she's got.
And she
I love
does,
her.
because she frames D'Artagnan and actually kills Mendoza, steals the letters that we later find out about, and then basically leaves him laying there with a knife beside his pillow.
Well, this is what's really cool about the character, which is why I know she's going to become one of my really favorite characters as someone who hasn't read the books. Again, this is based off a storyline of a character that was written by a man that was actually written hundreds of years ago, correct? So, I mean,
Yes.
it's just really impressive that he created such a really strong, powerful woman character that takes control of situations and is manipulative and incredibly intelligent and can outwit the men. And it's just, that's something to say for a story that was, written so long ago. I can imagine that more if the story was written now, based from 400 years ago. But,
Right.
So I love her. And I think she... I mean, I already kind of knew it was going to happen when she started to sleep with him and stuff. I'm like, oh no, something's going to happen to that dude. But,
Yeah, you called it.
I
You
did.
framed him.
I did, and I'm proud of that.
Yes. So speaking of meeting new strong female characters, D'Artagnan escapes the inn when all these people are like, he killed murderer, you did it. But he grabs Constance and kisses her. He's like, just kiss me, I'll give you money. And then she's like, do I look like a prostitute?
That's what every woman wants to
Because
do.
that's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's my best dress.
Yes.
How dare you?
Yeah, that was so cute. It's like, does this look like the dress that a prostitute would wear? And he's kind of like, eh.
That's why he gets kneed in the balls.
Yeah.
He
And
deserved
then
it.
faint. Why does he faint?
Because it hurts.
No, he fainted because he was injured because he jumped out a window
he
and
jumped
landed
out the window
and
got
hurt himself.
He was fine kissing her, but after the kiss, faint.
Adrenaline will get you actually numb the pain for a while until.
Until he hits the flow. I'm telling you, it was the kick in the crotch that did it. Like, that's enough to push anyone over the edge. As the only male speaking in this room, Phil, can you just back
Sorry,
me
Phil.
up? Getting kicked in the junk is enough to make you pass out.
He's not going to back you up after you just said you're the only male in this room.
Speaking. I said
okay.
only speaking male.
Okay.
Check the tape.
Phil, are you going to
I said
agree?
yes.
He said yes.
Okay.
He agreed.
Okay.
He's down for no.
He said, "I guess," not like.
No junk.
I said yes.
Oh,
Thanks, Phil.
Wait, so just to confirm, Phil, if
did you say yes?
The answer is yes.
Always?
if you get kicked in the nuts, you'll
Every
faint?
time.
Let's play a fun game. Liz,
Yes.
kick Matt Lieberman in the balls.
Okay.
I like this game already.
I like this game too.
It's going to have to wait.
For those of you who don't know, Matt Lieberman is another one of our hosts here at AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. I'd pay to see that.
All right.
Let's move on. Let's talk some more about the D'Artagnan.
We'll let you know how that goes later.
Yes. So after D'Artagnan rests, he finds out that his savior is Constance, and she is married. That's why she's a madame.
She's a madame, not a
Yes.
mademoiselle.
Constance Beauchamp. And he's like, I'm leaving, I gotta go. He's got stuff to do. And she's like, I know that look. Don't do it. Whatever you're gonna do, don't do it. He does it anyway, because D'Artagnan doesn't listen to anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he first asks her for directions, which men don't do, I hear.
Yeah, it's great. That was kind of funny. But first, where am I going?
Yeah.
I'm going to kill him. He challenges Athos to a fight.
It doesn't go
I already
very
knew
well.
that was gonna go the way.
So if you
Yeah.
haven't caught on at this point, there is a rank among the musketeers, and Athos is the commanding musketeer of them. He is the one that everyone respects and looks up to. He's the one that you hear stories about. He's the reason that everyone wants to become musketeers.
Is he the oldest?
Yeah,
would you
'cause
say?
He doesn't look like
He
He's
is
the most talented.
Yes, he's
Yes.
he is not. He's supposedly the oldest, but he's the most talented. Yes, he's the one that's the most respected and the most revered. He is the favorite among the musketeers, especially among Treville. Aramis is very religious and is into love and poetry.
He's religious?
Yes, he becomes very religious.
The one sleeping
The
with
one
the
with
cardinal's
the- yeah.
mistress?
Well,
Okay.
his thing is he finds love and beauty and art and sex appealing.
Okay.
He's an
So
artist,
he's a
right.
worshiper.
He gives into the 7 deadly sins,
The
but
pleasure.
but kind of
Well,
acknowledges it
that's
as a gift from God.
He's a worshiper.
yeah.
He's worshiping the human form.
And what about Porthos?
And Porthos is the drunk and the gambler
Yeah.
and the swindler. He has a lust for life.
All right.
Are we on the same page? Do we feel that way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we feel that way of their portrayal of them?
I didn't get that Athos was like the main one yet.
Well, I mean, they said when he was framed that he is held in the highest regard and that it's no way that he was the one who did this. And I think that if it was any of the others, they wouldn't have been so like, no, it couldn't have been him.
Yeah. I feel. Wait, which one did you say was the drunk? The one that got into the fight with the
Porthos.
cardinal? Porthos.
Yeah, the beginning. The
So
Curtis man. They
Aramis,
had the fort.
Aramis was the other dude.
He's the one that was sleeping around with Adele.
So what was the other dude?
D'Artagnan.
No. There's this other dude.
There's
There's a
Athos.
dude, darker skinned dude.
Porthos.
That's Porthos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one that got into a fight.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
In the
He
tavern.
fights with mustard, with Dijon.
With Dijon.
Dujon.
Oh, man. I was
Liz, keep up.
I'm sorry.
There's a lot of people.
There is.
But I did, when D'Artagnan was fighting with Athos, the other two were like, he's actually keeping up.
Yeah.
And then you didn't know
It's
if
like,
Athos
no
was giving
way.
it 100% or not, because
Yeah.
you know he wasn't going to kill him, but it was a cute comment.
Yeah. I feel like, you know what, I feel honestly he probably was taking it easy on him, but the kid's got skills, but he's just too, he doesn't think first.
He's hot-headed, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's
very
hot-headed.
hot-headed.
He rushes in
He's
to
too
fight.
Zorro. He's too young
We
to
see
Zorro.
that later.
Yes. As we learn, he rushes into all the fights.
Yes.
Surprise is the only thing we've got. Oh, surprise
it.
would
Never
have been the only
mind.
thing we
Hey,
got.
spoiler alert, we're getting ahead of the game.
All right, Mr. Book Reader.
Whoa,
You
sorry.
shouldn't be watching the after show if you haven't watched the episode.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I can see.
Moving
Yael,
on.
I'm going to say this once the entire season. You were right.
I think you're going to say that
I think
a lot
we're going to keep
more.
a tally, and that's just the first one.
Yeah,
Go ahead
thank
and
you.
mark that one down and burn that paper. Regardless, the fight continues between Athos and D'Artagnan. But then Porthos says, stop, it's enough, he's not fighting you, he gets involved. And then Aramis gets involved, and he's fighting all three of them, sort of.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and then
Constance stops it.
Yeah, and then Madame comes in. She's like, "What are you doing? How is that fair?"
They're like, we
Yeah,
weren't going to
it's
kill
like,
him.
it's like them, the
Well, you should have
musketeers
told
are at
us that
fault.
we weren't going to kill him. You should have told us that. Then.
Yeah, that was so
And
funny.
this whole time they're like trying to tell D'Artagnan, like, dude, we didn't kill
Bro.
your father.
Bro.
Like,
Dude, take it easy.
Bro.
Simmer down.
We didn't.
back up.
Bro, I don't even know who you are, bro.
That's okay. We
I
find
really-
out that Cornet never made it to the monastery.
Now we're
We
jumping.
find out then that the men come in and arrest Athos because they've been doing this investigation behind their backs. And the cardinal, of course, presides over the trial. Like, how fitting is that he's the one, like,
Wait, we're calling that a trial?
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, the accusations.
He comes in, he
Yeah.
goes, he did it. Here's how I know. This guy says something.
That
This guy
guy.
says something. He
Yeah.
did it.
And
Okay,
then,
we're
and then
going
he
to kill him.
actually did that thing, like the one was like, yeah, that's him. I believe so.
He was wearing
He didn't
a
say I think
mask.
so. No, they never actually mentioned that they were wearing masks, did they? Because the other guys were just like, oh yeah, that's him.
He said his clothes were the
Were-
same.
Yeah, the clothes were
Oh.
the same, but he never mentioned. It's like, well, don't you think you should have mentioned that, jerk? I mean, I'm just saying. Get angry
they were
at
never
these
gonna
fictional
win.
Characters.
They were never going to win.
It was a racket from the start, and it's
Yeah.
never going to work out for anyone's
Yeah.
favor. So the king decides to execute Athos.
Like, the cardinal was like, you need, he gives him that nudge. Like,
Yeah,
you have
like,
to
you
set a
need to-
precedent.
yeah. You need to make a point.
So, of
here.
course, he's like, okay, you're going to be executed at dawn. Mm-hmm. Fine.
Okay.
That was fair.
Thus inserts our major plot point this week: rescuing Athos.
Yep.
All right, let's do this. Let's light it up.
Cue
So,
CSI Miami music.
oh wait, wrong theme. So, in the next scene, though, we do learn that the stuff that was stolen are these letters that the king has written to the King of Spain, offering to go into some sort of peace treaty. And we learn a little bit about the king because there's supposedly a war that's going to be going on between France and Spain. And part of the reason that he married the Spanish woman was to try to help
Yeah.
ease
have that
talk.
not
Yes,
happen.
yes. So
Was
basically,
I the only person that was like laughing every time they're like, France needs to rule, not Spain. Like France will take over, and I'm just like laughing like history. No,
history.
oh France,
you're silly. You stop right
you
now.
just stop it. But
I felt that way a little bit too.
Yeah.
I feel that way all the time. I think
Yeah.
about the French people.
you know,
So, yeah.
We
those letters.
love our French.
I
friends.
know.
la paix mon frère. But
But anyway, we find that this whole thing is that if these letters get out, then it's going to make the king look really weak, and other people aren't going to like it so much.
be
and
embarrassing
It's going to
for him.
embarrass France, first off, and then it's going to be like, well, Spain's just going to come in here and take over.
Right.
I wonder like how they were worded, because I would think if anybody else came across these documents, if it was just worded as like, perhaps we should talk about peace and da-da-da-da, it's not really anything to be embarrassed about. But I'm wondering like how
probably
whiny were
begging.
those? Yeah,
He's
that's what I'm
probably
saying. How
whining and
whiny
begging.
were those letters? You know, just like please,
Well,
like
we learned that he's not very strong as a ruler,
yeah.
No.
and
He isn't very fierce. I don't think he believes in himself enough to really
Right.
have the confidence he needs for the
Exactly.
job.
He doesn't have the confidence.
Exactly.
well, you know,
His wife's hot.
that's
good.
true. It's because she's Spanish.
Yeah.
Brought in. So Porthos and Aramis go to D'Artagnan and they ask him for help. They know that Athos is innocent, and they know that they need someone else to go with them because they can't do it alone. Thus inserts our plot.
Dun,
Dun, dun,
And
dun.
D'Artagnan, I love your comment. D'Artagnan was like, "Well, I shot one of them. The body might still be there." And we're like, "Wait, 2 days later."
I'm like,
2 days
really,
later.
like, how dirty are you? Like, I know, you got to think back to the past in history, and it's like 1630.
That body's still laying there.
That body still might be
Well,
there.
at least the body was in a hole.
The thing is, the owner of the inn came to the trial. So, like, he clearly, his inn was robbed and people were murdered there. He wasn't going to stick around.
No, I know, but like for the way he said it, I'm just picturing there's
Yeah,
still like a
it was
dead
just
body
funny.
sprawled over like a table.
Just
somewhere.
laying there, like
Just
rotting,
laying
just
there,
flies
chilling.
eating
There's
it.
like a rat there nibbling on the ear, and and I'm just like, oh,
Lucky for us, that doesn't happen. They go back to the inn to find the body buried.
Half buried.
Half
It's just
buried.
in the hole.
Fine.
Kind of
it's-
half-assed.
At least it's in the hole and not just laying across the dinner table.
That's true.
Okay, we're moving on. No more dirty 1630s jokes.
For
Fine.
now.
Sorry if we offended anyone from 1630.
Yeah, if you're still alive, you should probably die.
Write
already.
us. Tell us what. Tell us how accurate
Tell
this
us how
is.
Probably
was.
hurts.
All right, so they find out in the clothes that there are 2 bullet holes, and D'Artagnan says, "I only shot him once." This one was the one that killed him, and this one was a random bullet hole.
And
Yeah.
it was CSI.
This doesn't match any wounds.
CSI of the
Yeah.
of the 1630s.
CSI of the 1630s. We find out that he was actually killed by someone else previously, and they stole his clothes. Okay,
And
good.
then they realized that the clothes were probably Cornet's.
It's all coming
It's
together.
Oh my God, the
all
plot
the
thickens.
pieces.
It's an assumption they made.
Okay, so when we get later on, we see Athos, and he's in prison, and the priest is talking to him. He's kind of giving the priest a hard time, like, "Oh, I killed whatever." So then there's this little flash scene where he's walking with these blue flowers, and then
Tiny.
He's
immediately
very
it immediately cuts to Milady in the next scene. So, did you have any thoughts or correlations between Athos and Milady at that point?
Not at all.
Not at
None.
all. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I just thought, I'm like, who's this chick?
I just thought it was someone from his past.
Yeah.
I was
Like
thinking
maybe
about-
something that haunts him and
He's about to die. He's going to think about, like, the most important person. I don't know. That's the memory he goes to.
Yeah, and they bring it up again later that he was involved with a woman, and then she died.
Right.
So they pointed out several times, and I noticed that knowing what was the
You knew
setup
it
was.
was- yeah.
Right, but I noticed that how they kept cutting between the scenes with them, and it almost always ended with Athos and started with Milady. So I was curious to see if anyone else picked that up, not knowing.
Nope.
we're
Not
not
at
that
all.
clever. Thanks for pointing that out.
You're welcome.
I wonder if anyone in the audience noticed.
Let
Yeah.
us know.
Hey, if you did, let us know.
Yeah, message
for
us.
sure.
Did you guys pick up the Milady tie, or those who are unfamiliar and just
Yeah.
enjoying the show? I'm interested to go, hear about these Twitter comments and all the stuff on there, because there are a lot of supporters group of Twitter Twitter. There's a lot of people that support Twitter. There's a lot of groups that support the show on Twitter. So let us know for sure, because we want to be involved with you guys, and you know, we want to be here to support you.
We want friends.
We need friends.
We need friends.
You know who doesn't? You know who doesn't need friends is the Cardinal.
Yeah. Well, no. Maybe if he had more friends, that like genuinely good people friends, maybe he would kind of be such.
I want to
be a better person.
I would love to be his friend, and now that what happens next makes me think there's room for me.
There's room for you to be friends with the Cardinal?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Because he hires women to do dirty work. Because we find out that Milady is behind the Athos frame, per the Cardinal's orders. She also stole the letters. And the Cardinal trusts her. It's definitely like his go-to person to get stuff done. Because he gives her Aramis's pistol. And he wants to know whose it was. This is the pistol that was found in Adele's room.
I know my chick is banging somebody else, so if you can just figure out who that is.
Just go ahead and handle that for me. We would appreciate that.
Really?
That's okay. We find out, though, that cutting back and forth. Again, we're cutting all over the place. Cornet's body's been found, and then there's Spanish gold. And what they learn then, and with Porthos and his gambling habit, that he has recently come across some Spanish gold.
And it's you don't see it very often, so this must mean something.
It
Spanish
does.
doubloon.
Dude, the CSI is kicking it again.
He says that it's actually new Spanish gold.
Yeah. New Spanish doubloons have not been recently. It's very hard to come by in France nowadays.
That's what he said.
So.
Well, they return to our good friend Mustard.
Mustard!
Dijon. Yeah, and Dijon is played by Philip Brody, also. So thanks for showing up for one episode, Philip Brody.
You were great, Mustard.
You were great, Mustard. And they go back to the tavern, and Dijon tries to sneak up on Porthos, and
it didn't work.
I actually expected when that was happening that he was going to get close, and Porthos wasn't going to turn around, but either D'Artagnan or Aramis were going to like knock him from behind, like they were watching him watch him.
Yeah.
It didn't work out that way. But they captured Dijon, they tortured Dijon, sort of. And they're threatening to shoot him, but the gun doesn't go off.
I like
Dijon.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I like that scene because it shows a little bit more of their personality.
Yeah.
You know how fun the Musketeers can be.
Yeah, they're not. It's not all serious business. There's some. There's going to be some chuckles had they tease at it a bit. It's not. You know.
You know what? I apologize. I totally just made a mistake.
What?
This is never going to happen again. Philip Brody was actually Captain Gaudet, who is the information that we get.
Gaudet.
Joe Redden was.
How dare you mess that up?
Joe Redden played Dijon. I apologize to you, gentlemen. That's all. Thank you.
Gaudet.
I was just looking at my notes and I made.
Use your Frenchness.
Oh yes, Captain Gaudet.
Thank you.
Ha ha ha. Oui oui oui.
Appreciate that more.
Okay.
But yeah.
Moving on.
Go on. You were about to say something, Liz?
No.
Nothing now?
It left. I think I was laughing too much at you. And then I just got distracted too much.
Captain Gaudet is behind all this. He's the one that killed the men. He's the one that stole the letters.
Killed D'Artagnan's father.
He killed D'Artagnan's father!
Oh my goodness.
You've killed my father. Prepare to die.
That's going to get old real fast.
It is, but I'm trying to get it out now.
Okay,
so
get it on one more time.
Okay.
He killed D'Artagnan's father.
Prepare to die.
Inconceivable!
Yay!
That was great.
Oh man, that was great. Okay, yeah. So, and then the interesting thing is like, did anybody else out there think that Gaudet? I mentioned it before. I was like, he looks like Billy Ray Cyrus.
It was the hair.
It's the hair.
I think he looked like someone else. I can't think of who.
Can I get that one more time, please?
Inconceivable!
He did not look like Billy Ray Cyrus.
Okay, it was just
there was
there
was a resemblance.
It was
like
the
if
flicker
you like
of the fire.
passed.
Yeah, it was like in the shadows. Obviously, when you saw his face up close, you're like, "That's not Billy Ray Cyrus."
There was a resemblance.
I want to
There's
ask
the
you to do it again.
One more time.
Yeah.
He does not look like Billy Ray Cyrus.
Inconceivable!
Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
Fine, done.
Thank you.
It's regardless, irrelevant, and regardless. We find out that there is a castle.
I was waiting for him to say irregardless. Sorry, go on.
Oh, he will.
It would have been funny. I would have
Irregardless.
hated you. I hate you now.
Done and done.
So
Inconceivable.
anyway,
So moving on, they go to the castle. They find out that it's been fortified by men. The only way in is the gate. But D'Artagnan has a plan.
I love that they like can't get in. It's guarded, but then Constant can
It's
come.
not Constance. That's just the prostitute that they hired.
Oh, I thought
that
it was
was
it was
Constance.
Constance.
Was it
That
Constance?
was
Yeah,
Constance.
Never mind then.
It was
Yeah,
totally
that was
Constance.
But like my point is like she comes in and like distracts one of the guards, so all the other guards are just like not on duty at this point.
Well, I mean, I feel like they probably figured if there's only one dude on duty, because first of all, they don't think anybody's wise onto them, so why would they need to like double up on guards to watch out for them? They think they're getting they think they're getting away with everything, and if anything, if that guy saw people coming, which it's like obviously only if his back was turned could he not see people coming, he could just call out for help and they would be there in a second. So in comes Constance, which I can't believe you didn't know was her. But inconceivable.
You weren't looking at her face.
Yeah.
I was totally looking at the boobs.
But, and then I was laughing at the whole humor there for 50, what's the type of French?
She said 50.
Something.
Whatever the French.
It's like pennies, yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, 5 sous.
She's like,
and she's so offended.
Well, did you hear what D'Artagnan said when he went by? He goes, 10? Aramis. How dare you, 10? Like, sell yourself so cheap.
Yeah.
That's hysterical. I actually missed that part because I think I was.
You were staring at her boobs, too.
Probably. I'm sorry.
They
I have
were
no shame.
great.
they were.
I mean, it's mostly the bustier, I think.
It is. It is.
They do all the
They kind of
work.
just spill out. They pool over.
Yeah.
I mean, they
What
did
a
the
terrible
job.
problem to
They
have.
got into the castle.
This is spilling out everywhere.
Right. Yeah.
It worked.
Wonder what that's like. Let's move on.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. Yael, would you like to elaborate?
So anyway,
So moving on. They get in the castle. They have the upper hand. They have advantage.
They were going to
Surprise.
use the element of surprise.
Not with D'Artagnan around. No.
D'Artagnan, simmer down, Donna. Simmer down.
Donna. Can we just call him Donna from now on?
I like it.
Dart is if anything.
That's how I write Dart. I just write Dart.
D'Artagnan. He rushes in like a hothead and starts
Like a
killing
dart.
people.
He rushes in like a dart. Anyway.
They threw him
Darts
right
in.
in.
Yeah.
He ruined the element of surprise.
Ruined the end of the spice. Luckily, Porthos and Aramis are sitting there picking people off with their single-shot loaded pistols.
Yeah.
D'Artagnan gets to the captain. Go ahead and say it. Godet.
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 I want to say Godet because I'm not French. I'm
But it's
American.
Godet.
Yes, I'm sorry, Godet. And they are fighting, and he's trying to kill him, but they're like, D'Artagnan, don't kill him.
We need him alive.
But they kill him
Seriously,
anyway.
bro?
It was obvious that he was going to.
Get killed?
Well, one that Godet was going to get killed, but also that they would be like, "Wait, no, don't kill him," and he'd be like, "Oh, okay, I'm not going to," and then end up having to kill him.
Kill him anyway.
That was really. It was like a.
He's like the bad
It
guy
was
that jumps
typical.
over the couch
It was
and they keep shooting
typical.
at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we need him alive, so we're gonna kill him.
Absolutely, let's kill him.
Yeah.
That's
Done.
okay. They say
They found
they
they found the uniforms.
they have Mustard's confession, and they found the
uniforms.
uniforms.
Interestingly enough, though, we later find out when the cardinal goes to see Dijon that Dijon
Mustard.
didn't tell him anything. And so I'm interested to see if they talk later about this, or if like the paper was fabricated, or like if they really got a pardon from the king, because like they were working on a pretty tight time frame.
I think he
Athos was against the firing
he said
squad.
the truth, just not all of it. He just didn't say what the cardinal was behind it. It was just God. What is it?
Godet.
Godet's orders, not that the cardinal gave him the orders.
Yeah,
he just left a little important piece out of it.
Yeah, he
Doesn't
just-
matter. Cardinal doesn't believe in loose ends.
Yep.
Dead.
Well,
No
and
more
also,
Mustard.
Well, also, it was kind of dumb of him too because Mustard was all like, I'm just calling him Mustard.
Yeah.
Dijon.
Dijon was just like, well, I mean, I could still tell them unless you want me around because then I'll always be your man. So basically, it was just like, I mean, in a way, he was kind of stupid because he's basically saying, I haven't said anything yet, meaning like, oh, keep paying me, keep allowing me to be your guy.
Right.
Which it's like, dude, you're in a cell with this. You have no bargaining chip
No
here. You
leverage.
probably should just kiss his ass to hopefully get out of that, and hopefully you'll still have a job with him. So I found that whole thing to be really funny. And before he even pulled out anything, the wine and everything, which you already knew what was going to happen, but
poisoned.
I knew one way or another it was either going to be him doing it or he was going to send somebody else to kill him if it wasn't that way. Because I'm like, dude, you have no leverage.
I wonder if it was Iocane powder.
Ha. Yeah.
Thanks for getting that.
I got it.
Thanks.
What was
Princess
it?
Bride.
Didn't.
Princess Bride.
Oh, damn it.
Moving on.
Come on.
You said it so fast.
Iocane powder.
Iocane powder.
There it is. Now you
Okay,
got
totally
Yeah.
got it.
I
Okay,
only see
is everyone on the same page?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay, great. So this is another point then, since we're going to go there, with the Athos and Milady thing. Because as Athos is lined up against the firing squad, they come bursting in. Aramis has the release from the king. They show Milady. up in the tower, looking down.
She was gonna watch him.
Leering.
Yes.
She wants her revenge. But
Which-
I don't know what...
We don't know yet why.
Do you know?
Well,
Don't tell us, obviously.
We saw the mark on her neck
Her throat got
from when she
is cut.
slept with Dart.
Yeah.
She said this someone who...
The man that loved
The
me
man
gave me
that
this.
I was in love with a man once, and he tried to kill me. And then he was like, I'll kill him for you. And she's like, that's not your concern.
That's not what she says.
Or something like
she
that.
said,
Maybe.
maybe I will ask you to.
Whatever.
But, like...
I'll hold you to it, basically. Yeah.
I mean, to me, because not knowing the book, it's like, what happened there? Because she said she loved him, but he tried to kill her, but then he remembers her as, like, the great love of his life. So,
And he thinks she's dead.
yeah, so I'm like, what's missing there? Which obviously we'll hopefully find
So
out.
hopefully there'll be the reveal then where they fight and see each other for
That
the
would be
first
amazing.
time.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe that'll be her first fight. Maybe they'll fight each other.
Ooh.
And maybe she'll like win him down a little bit. I don't know. He won't kill her again.
But will she kill him?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So can I just talk some more about Peter Capaldi as the Cardinal?
Yes.
Because in the next scene, he takes Adele out into the woods like a dog and gives her Aramis's gun, and then take her out back. And I love this part because this is my favorite line, I think, from the show, when she's like, burn in hell, and he's like, I've got work to do here still.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care.
Awesome.
Like, I'm not burning in hell yet because I got stuff to get done, and then
But you're going to die.
Then
We'll figure it out.
fine.
Yeah. I thought, I was so sad because we were watching the subtitles to make sure that we wouldn't miss on what they were saying when we were all watching it together. And I was kind of mad because the subtitles tend to go up on screen just before a sound is actually made. And I'm like, maybe he'll come out to save her. And then it's Capaldi's face and he's in the carriage, and all of a sudden you see at the bottom says gunshot. And before the gunshot happens, like, damn it. And then you hear boom. And I'm like,
But the last
She didn't
word,
get
she's like, I
saved.
love Aramis. And she
I
just
love
keeps
Aramis.
repeating
I
it. I'm
love
like, well, if he
Aramis.
didn't know who it was before, obviously he
Yeah,
does
nah.
because it's the
Yeah.
pistol. But now
Clearly.
he definitely knows
But I mean-
who it was.
yeah, but I think, it's kind of endearing in a way because it's the reason she is dying is because she loves him, but she doesn't regret it in a way. You
she's
know?
not lying about it and trying to hide it.
Yeah, she's like, I don't. She
Well
never
done,
did.
Adele.
She never did try
Way
it.
to go out.
She's got integrity.
And
She
now-
had integrity. Past
And
tense.
now
Yeah, where's
Peter
that
is
integrity got her?
available. He's available.
Peter's available. Yes, the Cardinal is available. Although,
Guys, there's a silver lining.
you know,
like his hair.
where does the integrity get Adele?
Nice.
It got her in the hole.
Because she let other people in her hole.
Okay,
Sorry.
so the final scene, the lady goes into a confession. You know, it's like, forgive me, Father, I've sinned, I've killed people,
I've lain
is
with
so
many
cool.
men.
I've laid with many men, you know, and he tells her that she's
She's
like,
an abomination.
she's an abomination.
You.
And she grabs him by the throat and like
Yeah.
pulls him through the thing. I wonder if she killed him.
She was holding
I
on
don't-
to
She's
his
strangling his
like rosary.
Right.
necklace. I don't think she
necklace,
killed
the
him,
cross.
but it
I-
wasn't very nice.
She hurt him pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
that was just so amazing. That was just like through the wall, just like here's Johnny, but just like
like-
screw you, Father.
But this is official because now we know that Milady and Athos had a thing. And
Flashback
They
to
flash
his
back
little-
to the flowers. They flash to the necklace that he wears still that has the flowers painted in them. And
Is it painted or is it an impression? I think
Maybe
it was an
it's-
impression of the
I
actual
think it
flower.
was painted because the flowers were bigger than the necklace.
Yeah, I think it was like
okay.
a canvas painting that fit in. You put portraits in those
Yeah,
in current
the
day.
lockets.
Like,
Yeah.
It's called locket.
yeah. I'm sorry, you put portraits in those lockets now, but that was too
Yes.
small for portraits back then because they painted everything. So they're a painting
Painted
of the
a damn
flowers.
flower. That makes a lot more sense.
That's
though.
cute though.
Yeah.
I like that he still wears it.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see then if he's like what happens when they meet.
Yeah. I
Oh
don't,
yeah.
Because he
Let's-
has to still love her.
You're getting
Yeah.
ahead, guys. You're getting into predictions. We're not there yet.
You know what? She wants revenge. That's what we get.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what time it is? It's time for predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So I saw the trailer as we went into the next episode, but it was I think a compilation of a lot of things to come. Like I don't feel like that's like any set pattern of things. So we know that Milady wants revenge, and we know that the Cardinals up to no good, and we know that D'Artagnan is not friends with the Musketeers. So what do we expect to see or look or want to see coming up in the next future episodes, Yael Tygiel?
I think that Milady will reveal herself in the next episode.
You think so
I
already?
think it'll be
Episode
the
2?
next
They're
episode.
not wasting any time.
And I think Dart, as we're calling him
D'Artagnan.
now, I think he's going to join the Musketeers by
officially
by like become a musketeer halfway through the season.
Yeah, he's gonna be like the little brother, but he's gonna stick around. If he doesn't, I feel like if he doesn't become a musketeer in the next episode or start training to become one, I mean, he's got to stick around somehow. I don't think he's just gonna vanish and then come back mid-season.
No. I think he's going to stay
You're so funny.
and be there, and I think he's going to officially join them mid-season. But he's the main character.
Yeah. I'm laughing because you're like, the Cardinals up to no good. In my head, I always started getting trouble in the neighborhood. I don't know. I feel like, because like you mentioned earlier before the episode started, like I'm trying to see where everything's going to go if Peter Capaldi doesn't return for next season. So all these things are coming to mind, like what.
Well, that doesn't mean the Cardinal doesn't return. That just means Peter Capaldi doesn't return as the Cardinal.
I hate when they do that mid-season. But anyway, it didn't bother me too much during Game of Thrones. I don't think it should be as bad. But yeah, like I agree with Yael. I think that's going to happen. I don't know if the lady will reveal herself so soon. I feel like that might be something saved for later during a more like intense scene or something, that because there's no way he's not going to go after her, and that's not going to be a whole thing on its own. Like I feel like that would be a great cliffhanger. So I feel like that's going to happen closer to the end.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think that she's gonna be behind the scenes for a little bit longer.
Yeah, she's gonna be
plotting
lurking.
these little revenge tactic tries on Athos, and of course D'Artagnan's gonna stick around and kind of lean towards becoming a musketeer.
I also think that since this is such a snippet here kind of show so far, and I kind of can see if for no one who's read the books and they want to make it more intense, I think that maybe we'll just get little snippets of what had happened between Milady and
the backstory.
Yeah, the backstory, but only little snippets, little at a time, until it builds up and up and up, and then she reveals. Yeah, I feel like that might happen. So
I can see that.
But I think that, like you said, we want to get through what they have in the books, so they have more creative freedom after all this. So I think they just need to keep chugging along with kind of setting everything up.
Yep.
And I'm always interested when shows are based on books to see like where they take artistic freedoms versus where they follow the plotline. Because obviously people that know the stories want certain things. People that watch Game of Thrones and watch the other shows that are based on books, they want Walking Dead. They want certain things from these stories, and they get mad when they're not there.
But I feel like also at the same time, and this has been said about Game of Thrones and it's been said about Walking Dead, that you have to learn to love the shows for being their own entity in a way that is based upon something.
They're historic and artistic adjacent.
Exactly. And that way you can learn to enjoy it more and not be as pissed off just because something doesn't. Because how boring would that be? I mean,
if it's the same story retold that you've already read.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm excited to get to the point where we've told the story of Three Musketeers. We know the characters. We know this happened and this happened.
But then what if
this
happened?
They can go on new adventures.
Exactly.
They can have new trials and tribulations.
Exactly.
They can help France. They can do the musketeer thing, and they can fight people, and that's what I want to get to.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that happening.
Too. Yeah.
Hey,
ladies.
What's going on?
Thanks for being here.
It's been real.
Thank you.
Audience, friends at home, thanks for joining us. I want to know, ladies, where the fine folks at home can find out more information about you. Kate?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kate Aquillano.
Hey!
Liz?
You guys can find me at Lizzie Maui on Instagram and Twitter, LIZZYMAWY. You can also find me on other such fine panels as Sword Art Online and also Dominion with my lovely co-host Yael here.
Okay, Yael, and where can they find you?
The people can find me online at yael.tv. That's YAEL.tv. And you can get info about the amazing styling from Siren's Boudoir, also on Yael TV. You can also find me. Sorry.
I know, I love
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Google Plus at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL.
Sorry for all the vowels and consonants.
Yep.
And
as always, you can find me at RyanHooks92 on the Twitter, the Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. And I'll be on the Big Brother panel starting on Thursdays. I know, I'm stoked about reality TV here at AfterBuzz TV. Hey, everyone, thanks for joining us for their very first episode of The Musketeers. We'll be back next week for episode 2. So for Kate, Liz, Yael, and the booth, I'm Ryan. Catch you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV,
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.